Hey folks, welcome to the second video in getting started with MCP Toolbox for databases in Google ADK. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the data gap, where we'll be understanding what problem MCP was created to solve. LLMs can talk, but they can't know about your specific world. Let's start with the absolute foundation, the problem we are all trying to solve. On one hand, we have these incredible large language models. Their ability to understand language, to reason, and to hold a conversation is nothing short of revolutionary. They have cognition. On the other hand, we have reality. We have your reality, your company's data, your inventory, your sales numbers, your customer records. This is your ground truth. And right in the middle, there is a giant gap. This is the single biggest hurdle to build truly useful AI agents today. The AI can talk, but it's fundamentally disconnected from the data that actually matters. First, the knowledge cutoff. An AI model's knowledge is frozen in time. Ask it about a major news event from last month or even a new product you launched last week, and it will draw a blank. It's like talking to someone who read a bunch of encyclopedias 3 years ago and hasn't learned anything since. Second, this is the most critical one for any real world application. It has no access to your private data. It doesn't know your business. It's a black box. It doesn't know who your most valuable customer is, what your most popular product was yesterday, or which of your delivery trucks is running late. And this leads us to the result. When you ask an agent a question, it can't answer from its static knowledge or because it can't see your data. One of the two things always happens. You either get a polite but useless generic answer like I'm sorry, I can't access that information, or you get something much more dangerous, a hallucination. A hallucination is when the model, which is designed to be helpful and creative, simply makes up an answer that sounds plausible. For a poet, that's a feature. For a business running on facts, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Okay, so what you're seeing here are two AI agents. I have built them using Google's Agent Development Kit, and they are running locally on my laptop. They both use the same Gemini 2.0 Flash model, same prompts, same configuration. They are identical in every way except for one critical difference. Agent A, our amnesiac agent, has no connection to any external data whatsoever. It's a standard out of the box agent. On the other hand, Agent B, our grounded agent, has been connected to the Google Cloud Release Notes database on BigQuery. It's a very huge database with multiple products and different details, and the best part is it's public. The part one is where there's an actual failure, where I ask it a simple question and it says I do not have access to real-time information, so it cannot give me information based on my question. But on the other hand, the success part is when I ask it to fetch me the cloud release notes, that's going to be the connected agent, and it successfully brings me back a response. Now let's take a look at both of these examples. Here I'm inside of my ADK web UI where I'm connected to my amnesiac agent, where I'm going to be asking it to get me the cloud release notes. And the first thing it's going to be saying is I do not have access to real-time data or external systems. So we know our current amnesiac agent isn't connected to a database, and just giving it an instruction set and description or maybe possible tools is not going to be enough. But if we go to our grounded agent and I'm going to be giving it the same prompt that says get cloud release notes, you can see it calls the search release notes tool, and in a couple of seconds it should be able to bring me back a response. And here you can see it has successfully fetched the cloud release notes for each of the products, and it's given me a successful response here. And here you can see the key difference between an agent that is connected to a database and an agent that is not connected to a database. This is the power of grounding your agent in reality. We went from a dead end to a decision-making tool with one simple connection. Now let's understand what happens in the backend and how we can set up our own agent. So I'm inside of my Visual Studio Code and I'm going to be going to my Amnesiac agent, and this is what the agent code looks like. In case this is too complicated, we're going to be covering the basics of ADK in the next tutorial. So this is just to give you an overview of what's happening. So we start off with some imports. This is my main agent. This is my Gemini model. This is my description and my instruction set. It's very simple. There's no database connection. I have my environment variable stored here. But if I go to my grounded agent, I'm going to go to the agent.py, and you can see from the toolbox core, import the toolbox sync client, and I have my MCP server here. I'm going to load all the tools from that, and I'm going to launch my agent here. Now, what's this tools file? It's called a tools.yml file where you specify your project, your data set details, and the query that you want to pass with a description and mention it down here. These details will be made more concrete in the further tutorials, but this is to give you an overview of what happens in the backend. So the why part of this is clear, that an agent without your data is just a toy. An agent with your data is a tool. The question now is, how hard is it to build that bridge across the data gap? You're about to be surprised with how simple it can be. In the next tutorial, we're going to be getting started with Agent Development Kit, where we'll build a couple of basic agents to give you a better understanding of how to build agents with ADK, after which we'll dive into connecting and building your own MCP server and connecting that to your ADK agent. If you like this video, then don't forget to like, share, and for more content, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.